hibiscus, and one of my passions is birdwatching. So if you're wondering what birding is, it's basically looking at and watching and documenting birds. And I really love bird watching because I'm really into birds, and it's really important because birds play an important role in our ecosystems, and they're also really cool to check out whenever you get outside and get into nature. There are so many birds out there, and it's really cool to check out each bird and get to know each species. So there are plenty of field guides and books of identification of birds out there, like this one here. This is a bird book I really recommend checking out if you want to get into bird watching, and there's also so many others out there too. Feeding birds is a great way to attract and observe them. There are several types of bird feeders, including niger feeders, which hold niger seed, which little birds love to eat. I also have a platform feeder here, which holds bigger seeds, which a lot of larger birds, and even some smaller birds love to eat too. And there are also hummingbird feeders here, which we often fill with sugar water and nectar, which the hummingbirds love to eat. Squirrels can be real bird feeder pests, so I highly recommend putting up baffles, which, as you can see here, are these domes that are on top of the feeders, which prevent squirrels from getting into them because squirrels can climb almost literally anything, so they won't get past the baffles. There are many foods to feed birds, including this black oil sunflower seed, which many birds love to eat, and then I have this no waste mix that includes whole sunflower seeds and peanuts, which many birds large and small love to eat. And I have this niger seed, which many little finches and other small birds love to eat, which specific feeders hold. And there's also hummingbird nectar and sugar water that I also feed, which hummingbirds love and specific hummingbird feeders hold. Okay, so the feeder is filled and ready to be hung. So whenever you feed the birds, and whenever they empty out as the birds eat the seed, which happens quite quickly, you can refill the feeders. And please, 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 whenever you refill the feeders or empty out the food every so often, you really should clean the feeders really well with soap or water, or even bleach if you can, to help prevent the growth of mold and stop the spread of diseases amongst birds and even us. And hummingbird feeders should be cleaned every so often as well, but more so during the summer when it's hot. And now, all we have to do is fill the feeder. Did you know many birds are actually in trouble due to habitat loss, climate change, poisons, pesticides, and many other factors? We have lost more than 1/4 of our birds in North America, which is really sad. There is some good news though, that many birds like bald eagles and peregrine falcons and many others have recovered due to the bans of DDT and other pesticides, but we ourselves need to help birds because we're losing too many. So to help birds, make sure you plant native plants whenever you set up a garden. Native plants, unlike most non-native plants, produce homes, food, and shelter, and many things birds need. Also, please try to avoid pesticides, which kill off many bugs that birds eat. If any of you have any insect problems, maybe try attracting birds, and the birds will control the insect populations. And also herbicides, please try to avoid them too, because they affect the whole ecosystem and important insects and birds too. Please avoid using rat poison if you have any rat problems, because rat poison doesn't just harm birds, it harms any other rat rats predator because when owls or hawks, coyotes, or any other animals that eat rats eat the poison rats, they themselves too get poisoned, and they often get sick and even die, which is really bad. So if you have rat problems, please instead use live traps. And also if you have large pane windows, I recommend putting in window stickers because birds often crash into windows, which often stuns them, hurts them, and kills them. For those of you who are cat owners, please keep cats indoors because feral cats and cats outside eating birds is a huge problem. Millions of birds die each year from cat predation, and also cats live longer and healthier and happier lives when they're indoors as well. When many of us think of bird watching, we normally think of far-off places like the mountains or the countryside or even the oceans. But birds are everywhere, even in the parks and green spaces in the suburbs and the most urban areas. And urban birds are important because they create opportunities for people who live in urban areas and may not have the chance to go out and about far off. And also green spaces and parks allow people to experience nature and help to reduce greenhouse gas because trees and plants reduce CO2 in the atmosphere, which will help our climate. And birding and nature are very therapeutic, especially for those who are working all day or are in their houses all day and are able to get out into nature and experience birds and other animals, especially in urban areas where they need them the most. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you feel inspired. Here are some pictures I've taken and some drawings I've drawn of birds. Happy birding, everyone!